Or I'll hear you, actually.
Send me the link, because we got to make sure that everyone's audio is incorporated. Send me the link, because I know that this happened once. Everyone's audio.
Yeah, I'll paste it in the Discord. I hear the Discord. I hear their echo. All right, I'm muting that now. All right, we're good. Yeah, I don't even have the theme music ready, but you know, it's all good.
Well, I hear. It seems like I hear everybody.
Okay.
You should be fine, but I don't know about no echo, because I have an echo anyways if I listen to that stream.
Yeah, I hear an echo too, and then like everything is just terrible, and then like yeah.
What? Well.
All right. I mean, when you're ready to start Captain Planet, we're gonna. So everybody who's tuning in now, we're just doing field research of Captain Planet because that's the topic for today's stream. Is Captain Planet and the environment.
Yeah, we're scientists.
Yeah, we're scientists. We're doing Science Boys today. You know, that's what we're doing. This is the business of science right here. So yeah.
So this is let me see.
I'm here with GabrahamSandwich and Arcane. Arcane was here like many episodes ago, and then Gabraham was here like last 2 episodes. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm a recurring guest. I don't actually know what episode this is, but I believe it's season 5.
Okay.
I didn't know that there was 5 seasons of Captain Planet, but that alone really blows my mind.
It was a multi-parter where they had the evil Captain Planet, right? That was a multi-part thing.
It might have been, but I don't think that he's in this one.
Because I remember like he got his shit pushed in at the end of one of episodes, and like that really freaked me out as a kid. And then apparently
his dirt pushed in.
Yeah, he had his earth pushed in.
His mud.
Yeah, I got things to say about that Earth guy too, because he's always using that ring wrong. He's always like using it to form like chasms and plateaus instead of using it to make the ground like shoot up between an enemy's legs and hit them in the crotch so that they're down for the count. Like it was.
That's dirty.
Yeah, I mean like he's got a really offensive weapon that he could have used effectively, but he chose to just topple bulldozers and whatnot. I mean, I guess they were trying to be PC back then, so it's understandable.
Yeah, they definitely were.
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Let's check it out. This is season 5. I maybe it'll tell me the episode. I can't actually see it on here, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Earth can no longer stand the terrible destruction plaguing our planet. She sends 5 magic.
Who's this bitch?
I don't know. Was it like?
Oh, she made the rings. Okay.
Wait, there was someone who made the rings?
I guess so.
I really do not remember this. I don't remember that being a thing.
I haven't seen this. I loved this show when I was a kid.
I did
haven't
too.
Seen it in years.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing this.
Water's pretty cool.
I mean, you could use it to like,
you can drown people with it.
Yeah, I don't think she did that though. I think that she used it to like
Yeah, but you could, I think. One of the things I noticed about this era of cartoons is that the art was actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
You don't agree?
If you compare it to like Steven Universe, then yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I would compare it to Steven Universe. Steven Universe looks like dog shit compared to this.
Yeah. Oh man,
this is
before nerds were cool. Oh wait, that's a clown? I thought it was supposed to be like a nerdy guy. Oh wait, no, now I see it. I'm actually tinkering around with OBS trying to bring this to the foreground, but I'm just getting a lot of like nonsense right now.
It's okay, you're not missing much. There's a guy with, apparently like a fat vampire.
Oh, okay.
I remember him vaguely.
Yeah, and where would that leave us?
Enough clowning around. It's time to get
okay.
Great.
Yo.
This bitch has a highlight in her hair. Did we even have highlights back then?
Yo, this is like Social Justice Warriors. They knew it was coming. This is the Metal Gear Solid 2 of cartoons right here.
The world's people don't have safe drinking water? 50 species a day disappearing? An area the size of 10
50 species?
Was that really the case?
Every minute? Nuclear waste being dumped today will remain poisonous for more than 10,000 years?
Oh my god, this sounds awful.
Yeah.
Overflowing and nowhere to put garbage?
You'll get the message out, Mr. Lerner.
He's reading about all of this in one book.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna put this thing to capture, I guess.
Plastics? Communication. print, television, and film have made me what I am today.
A giant in the industry?
And if I can use TV to show what's happening to our planet, then people can fix it. Another thing I've learned is you don't get anywhere sitting on your
desk.
Okay.
Sitting on your ass, right?
they had whoa, snap. What?
Oh god, that's the thing.
They had
no.
actual villains, like super villains, not just like bad guys. Like
Freddy boy.
my memory of this was that it was just regular guys that were polluting just for the sake of polluting. Like this guy is like
I thought there was like a small force of people that pretty often would be like, we're just gonna pollute for no fucking reason.
Yeah, like this guy's like a ripoff of like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain. This guy's like that guy's like a ripoff of like Fantastic Four guy. Like,
yeah, the Thing.
And then
yeah, you're exactly right. It looks exactly like.
All right, go. It's like they gotta go like save like Mike Pence right now. They gotta.
And they're just fucking around. They don't give a shit about what's going on.
Yeah.
They've been given divine power. They're just not using it.
Oh, this was back when diversity was actually a strength, and not like a source of problems.
Yeah. Also, make sure you shut your lights off.
Yeah.
It's fine. We have LED lights now. We don't have to worry about that shit. I have LED lights in my room. I keep on 24/7.
Oh, yeah. I heard that a lot more energy efficient than how they had before.
Yeah.
Oh snap! That reminds me of that dude. Like, have you ever played Fallout 3? I think that's like Mr. House right there. Oh no, that's Vegas, right? New Vegas.
Yeah, I played Fallout 3 when I was in high school. Yeah, well, what about it?
Like even the villains were like pretty culturally diverse as well. That's pretty interesting. Like both sides.
I'm not sure what you mean by villain. There's lots of people that I killed in that game.
Oh no, I'm talking about Capt Planet. Like the villains who got like. Oh snap! And there's no upskirt. Oh, they tied her skirt down too. Oh, that's actually like pretty good planning on the cartoonist developers' part, because they knew that. They knew that that was.
It's gonna fly down.
Yeah, so they made it realistic, and they actually tied her skirt down too, so it would stay up.
Now to show these corporate.
I don't think the cartoonists of this era were stupid. Like they would.
Oh, so this
see shit like that.
See, this is ironic because you always like hear all this propaganda, like the evil corporations are pollutioning and all that. But this villain is saying we're gonna teach these corporate assholes a lesson. Like these are like anti-capitalist, like they're basically communists. These villains right here.
They're like radical people.
Yeah, they're basically saying we're gonna teach these corporate assholes a lesson. Well, they didn't say assholes, but you know what I mean, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Now that's entertainment!
Well, that's weird then.
Yeah. Oh, was the Cold War still going on at this point? Because that's probably what it was, right?
In the 90s? No.
No, that's like the end of the Cold War, like, towards like the very end. I mean, I could imagine that, like, even
when
after...
exactly did the Cold War end?
Probably when the Soviet Union collapsed. But the thing is, like, even after the collapse of the Soviet Union, I'd still say that, like, the anti-communist sentiment was still probably going very strong,
I want to know the exact year.
Well, why don't you just make, like, an educated guess as to the year?
I can't because I'm stupid. That's why.
You could make an uneducated guess. That'd probably be good enough.
If I had to guess, I would say the Cold War ended somewhere in the 70s.
70s? No, I thought it was like the 90s.
No.
Like the 90s or 80s or something. You still had like, because even after the fall of the Soviet Union, you still had China, and then you still had even during like Gorbachev, I think that they were still like
whenever I talk to somebody about the Cold War, it's somebody the age of my grandmother, and they'll talk about like, oh shit, I remember the day when we were talking about the Cold War on TV, and it scared me shitless because everyone thought that we were gonna get bombed at some point.
Oh.
And it didn't happen. But I don't know. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Well, it says on Wikipedia. Now this is very quick. There's a big range of dates here, but it ends on 1991, the year of my birth.
Oh, okay.
but I have a feeling that in 1991, any fears about the Cold War were long gone.
Really? Because by 1991, because the fear after the end of the Cold War was that like rogue states might come into possession of the nuclear weapons, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I honestly don't know. I'm taking a history class right now, so maybe in a few weeks I will know. But
Yeah, ask him about it because I would like to know too. You could come back here. You could be our education correspondent, and then you could just bring back the history.
My History 2 course in community college. I'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
educate you guys.
I mean, really, is that going to be anywhere? Yo, that guy is Captain Planet. Oh wait, he's like a fake Captain Planet. What? Oh, this is like a.
Yeah.
Oh, Steph. You know what?
He's Mr. Satan.
What is this? What is it called? The Batman movie where like everybody was like cosplaying as Batman and like running around with shotguns trying to shoot the bad guys and stuff. Like that's a total ripoff of this episode right here. Where
What the hell are you talking about?
there was a Batman movie, like the edgy one, like where I think it was like when the new Batman, I think it's the current one actually, the one where like the Batman has like this like giant like I don't know, car from Idiocracy, except now it's the Batmobile replacement. So instead of like a long phallic Batmobile, he has a gigantic like behemoth Batmobile, which is like
I don't know. There's
Yo, he's gonna do it. Oh, see, look. Oh, see, he trips them. He could have just like gone for like a crotch shot right there, but like.
Well, he's trying not to kill him.
It's like
I think
it die from a crotch shot.
Well, just think about like if a rock came out of the earth and launched into your crotch. Don't you think that would sterilize you?
A lock? I mean, these kids are not Antifa. I mean, if anything, the bad guys are Antifa. They're the ones who like running around using melee weapons.
They're dumb kids. Their heads are filled with SJW shit and diversity and acceptance and all that stuff. They don't want to kill or hurt anybody. So.
Yo, that's actually pretty
that's
cool.
That's pretty good.
Elevator. Yeah, like the Earth elevator is really good.
Can he like grow shit with his ring?
I don't think anyone had like a plant ring. That would have been cool too. Like
it would have been nice if Earth could do that.
Yeah, like you imagine if someone had like a fungi ring where he could just make like mushrooms sprout out of like a bad guy, and like then he would just get like eaten alive by like the mushrooms.
What the fuck? Why mushrooms?
Because like fungi like mushrooms they eat the well, they usually eat like dead like trees and shit, but like they
usually eat dead stuff. So
I guess it would be very that's really the
so you gotta kill him first.
That's the Trump weapon for zombies, I guess. If you want to.
Oh, what's this guy trying to do? Oh, they're summoning Captain Planet.
Okay.
They're too dumb to do.
Do they have to aim in order to do that, or is it like an auto aim thing where?
I don't know. I don't have.
Okay, so his skin looks like. Is his skin supposed to be ice or aluminum?
I think it's just. They just picked a color. Honestly, I think that's what they did.
And then he's the only one who has ice powers too, right? Because like
Really?
Yeah, because like the water girl can only do like water, and then the wind girl can do wind. I don't know if they can do like both. Like if you ever played Chrono Trigger, there was one spell because like you have like dual techs where like you can team up and do like a combo spell, and one was called like Ampitoad, where it was like someone casts fire and someone else casts ice, and like
I haven't played that game, so I don't know what you're talking about, but
no, Ampitoad
I can see how Captain Planet might have a few more powers than the kids
that were missing from the kids. It's like
well, maybe some things combine.
Yeah, so it's like he's like a Gestalt type of character where like he's larger than the sum of his parts or something.
Oh my god, was that like a vomit wand?
I think it was a pollution wand, and then they just shot him with concentrated pollution, right?
Wait, he's like the vaccine to pollution. Shouldn't he just like eat it
No,
up?
no,
or
I
what?
think his weakness is pollution. Like, so.
Oh.
I mean, arguably, like crude oil, like is only pollution in the context of like if it's dumped in the ocean, but if it's in the ground, it's not pollution. You know what I mean? Like, so, it's more of a contextual thing.
Oh no, he lost.
But that thing is like, I think it's like a pollution gun where it's like the stuff is bad no matter what the context is of it or something like that.
Yeah, it's hurt the protagonist gun. I love that.
Guaranteed
I put
screw
bleach
up
in my
the
toilet all the time. I hope every fish dies because of it. You should probably fix your monitors.
Wait, so no, that's not hers. She broke them. Remember? Okay, so basically they had like a fairly responsible corporation like trying to make like products that are useful but like not as dangerous, and then she's like, all right, fuck this. We're going to make like all of the products dangerous and polluting because like
This is cool.
they're basically taking the Antifa attitude that they have towards America and applying it to the Earth. That's essentially what these fools are doing. Like,
Careful, little buddy.
Yeah, we're just gonna fix all the bad stuff by doing more shitty things.
yeah, pretty much. Like,
Great actor like you.
Thanks. I was
I'm
slamming
glad the
my nose
clown is
against the
safe.
wall for hours, hoping someone would hear the squeak. What's going on?
oh snap! If you get put in like a thing like that for hours, you could actually like cut off circulation to like important, like or to limbs at least. That's
On the nose?
no. Like he was his arms were like tied back and stuff like that. That's like
Yeah. The Flintstones? Are you serious?
I guess. And then like I think
like
Bart.
dirty
Oh no, that's
Flintstones.
Dino. I think right. Dino was the purple dinosaur in the Flintstones.
Yeah, yeah, it's straight up the Flintstones. Was this a Hanna-Barbera thing?
Is Hanna-Barbera the one who drew all of the things that are now parodies on Adult Swim? Like Space Ghost is now like a interviewer guy, and then like Harvey Birdman is not a superhero anymore. He's a lawyer.
Well, first thing, I don't think those are current, and second of all, I don't think so.
No, because like they were basically like characters from actual superhero cartoons, but they've been basically like the context has been changed so that now they're just a bunch of like they're working like.
No, I don't think that's true. I think those are made-up characters.
Oh, they just made them up. Oh, okay.
Probably, yeah.
Interesting. I thought
And
it was.
I think whoever made them probably made them in the Hanna-Barbera style because.
Oh, okay. I heard that
that's funny.
that C-Lab 2021 was actually like just. I heard that that's what they did with it was called C-Lab 2020, and that was an actual show. Was that a thing?
I don't know anything about that. I really don't know that much about Adult Swim. I didn't have cable for a very long time, and
Well, I mean, depending on what college you go to, they have like different like IRC-esque networks that are usually hosted on a server hidden somewhere on the campus, leeching internet and energy from the school.
you mean like another student?
It's like a student or like a student who also happens to be an RA that has access to restricted areas of the school, and then like they also find like a port that's not used and they plug in a server there, and then they plug in a power into a server and then
Yeah, I
run
guess
a...
I don't know anyone like that. And I don't live in a dorm either.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably not meet those people.
You probably have to have a school that has a dormitory system in order for something like that.
No, they do, but I don't live in the dorm, and I don't think. I mean, I'm an IT student, but I don't think any of them are pirating cartoons.
I mean, I knew some students
You can.
who like.
I mean, you don't need to. You just go find a uTorrent for it, or find a torrent for it.
Oh
You
no,
have
because
everything.
the school actually had blocked torrents. Like this was back in like early mid 2000s. Or not, maybe like late, mid 2000s it was. So they blocked torrents, and there was a
maybe,
way
but-
you could get a torrent to work, but it was a pain in the ass. And then like you had to do all this other like nonsense. Like someone released a guide, and that worked for a while, and the school would patch something, and then they'd find another exploit.
Well, I remember stuff like that in high school. Like, we somehow we would just all know we all shared information with each other to be like, oh, just use a proxy, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then they would do something to limit the proxy, and we'd find something else to do. And it would just go on back and forth for months until I graduated.
It's basically like a tech arms race between like the pirates and like the school, basically.
I don't know. Like I've been in my college library, and I don't think that I've never been cut off for any reason. I guess if I tried to look at porn, I might. But
Well, this is
I
what
wouldn't do it there.
This is what like so at my school the way it worked was it was only for the school's intranet, so you couldn't.
Oh look,
connect
there
to
he
it.
is. He's using ice.
Yeah.
I think Captain Planet just has everything.
Yeah, I mean, but like, is there like some rings that weren't given out? Like they couldn't find like another kid to give the ice ring to, so like
Now for Newcomb's co-stars.
Well, probably, yeah.
Yeah, they probably had an oil ring. They probably had like all these other rings that like they could have
The
given
oil
out,
ring.
like like again, like the plant ring, the fungus ring.
Man, if somebody comes up with an oil ring, that guy's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah. Yo, what happened to these kids when they grow up? Like, do they just like
Fan mail from all over the world. They hate his new programming. They want their Eco TV.
And we're going to give
Australia?
You kids are incredible. How about starring in your own series?
Oh, this is back when like kids cared about being on TV. Like,
Wait, is this like the last episode or something?
wait, really?
Wouldn't that be great? It'd be like, hey, do you want to star in your own series? And then it would kind of
Like
wrap
this,
up the
this is
entire
like
thing.
this is where it came from. This is like
Yeah.
And disappearing resources.
That
The
would.
more we can do to help. Television is also a great way to learn about other cultures so we can understand each other better.
Read.
Man,
don't
this is
watch
back
TV.
when like TV was the internet.
Knowledge.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the power to make a better world is yours.
It's yours. I actually remember.
We are all products of the world around
Oh,
Oh
it's still
snap!
going.
Yo, this is like this is like wait, was this the 90s? Because like when did New
Yeah,
York
it's the
get cleaned up? When was Giuliani? Because like like kids fighting in the park in like was a New York City thing back in like before Giuliani, whenever that was.
Kids fighting in the park.
Yeah, it used to be like
Hey, don't all kids just fight all the time?
well, no, because like when I was little, I remember I was just not allowed to go outside. Like. I mean, like Dave Chappelle made that joke about how, like like every year, like you're like not allowed to, you're allowed to go like just a shorter distance away from the house, like the end of the street or only. And, like,
Well, I believe
doorstep.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't
well, like,
live in a neighborhood
for-
that had a community like
for
that,
me,
so I don't.
I like just was not allowed to go outside of the house, basically.
Well, it wasn't that bad for me. I mean, I don't know. I live in the middle of nowhere, and when I was a kid, like there wasn't a street of kids that I could go up to and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? Because there weren't any kids. It was just me.
Oh, okay.
And I was the youngest out of all three of my siblings. So, there wasn't a lot of people for me to relate to. So if I wanted to go hang out, it was going to be a drive.
Were they? Was it like were they like a distant age group? Because like I have like a friend whose parents were like, all right, we're gonna have one kid, and then like when he's in high school, we're gonna have like a bunch more kids so that he can just take care of them for us. And then like, and it's like, yo,
No, it wasn't that bad.
I'm like, yo, that's messed up. Like, I mean, it wasn't exactly like that, but like that's like a bit exaggeration, but yeah, it's still a little bit whack situation doing something like that.
I mean, that sounds crazy and absurd to me, but I mean, the second oldest, or the next oldest sibling from me is 4 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
And then my second oldest brother is another 4 years, so he's 8 years, and then my other brother is about 10 years older than me. So
Okay, cool.
there's kind of a gap there, and like that's a bigger gap for when you're younger.
Yeah, when you're younger, things like seem like they're bigger. Like, I wonder if who would be a good person to ask about this? Probably like Nick Rekieta. Although the thing is, like every time I message him on Twitter, I never get any response. I think it's a situation where he
'Cause he
either
hates you.
he either thinks that my account is like a fake account, or something. I don't know, or he just doesn't check Twitter.
I mean, he might just not know you.
Well, that is
I'm
true.
sure, like he's kind of, I don't want to say he's a big deal, but he gets a lot of attention now. Like I'm sure a lot of people send him messages all the time.
Yeah, I'm
Yours
pretty sure
probably
he
just
probably
gets
is.
lost in the sea.
Yeah, he's a lot more popular now, so he's not going to be doing that. All right, so what's the plan now? Are we going to do another episode, or are we going to start talking about these smartwatches that watch you fap?
We came here to do one episode. I'm not doing two.
Okay,
What are you
good.
talking about?
All right. So the Galaxy smartwatch, for some reason, it knows the difference between when I'm running or when I'm on an elliptical, and it's or when I'm just walking. It's like, that was a good walk, and I'm like, how do you
have
know?
one?
Yeah, I have one. I got one. It was on sale, and I got it as a gift when it was on sale.
Does it explicitly say this is when you're on the elliptical and this is when you're actually running?
Well, basically what it'll be is like I'll be on the elliptical and then it'll vibrate and then I'll look at my watch and then it'll say like elliptical trainer and it'll have a timer and like my heart rate and all that stuff. And then while I'm walking, it'll do the same thing, but it'll say like, walking or running and then after I finish it says that was a good walk or something like that. So, is it like
I thought a Fitbit was just basically like a. But wait, is it a Fitbit or is it a smartwatch?
It's a smartwatch. It's the Galaxy Watch. So that's the Samsung.
Okay, so
one.
yeah, that is different.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume that it just has a sensor in it that checks your pulse. I don't know how it does it.
But you're our education correspondent. You're the one who we're like sending out to get this information about when the Cold War ended.
Well, you're gonna be disappointed because I don't know. I told you I don't know anything about smartwatches.
Okay, yeah.
I can tell you there are probably a few ways that you can check somebody's pulse. One of them is, I believe, with infrared light.
It does flash a little green laser thingy when you put it on.
So it has something like it has like something on the bottom of it that touches your skin.
Yeah, it has. Like
well, I work in anesthesia, and you probably didn't know that.
Oh no, I didn't know that at all. Now I can dox you because I know what you work in.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. And I know
there's hospitals all over the place.
And I know the general region of the United States of the continental United States in which you reside and / or work, probably.
All right. Well, again, best of luck to you because there's a million hospitals.
I probably have a better idea of where Justin Wang lives than what you do. Actually.
Oh, are you gonna dox him?
No, I already said this. Like, the way he's talked about like stuff in his videos, especially the streams. Like in the videos, he does it a lot less, but in the streams, he like just goes on about like his area and places he hangs out, and then you can kind of piece together where he lives.
He probably isn't worried about somebody autistic enough to try and find out where he lives for absolutely no reason, unless you want to kill him. Do you want to kill him?
No, I mean, I remember tweeting at him offering to buy him coffee, but I haven't gotten any response. Because again, he's like Nick Rackets. He's a lot more subscribers, a lot busier, a lot more people probably contacting him. So there is.
Yeah, he also, I think Justin Wang floods his Twitter with stuff. So if somebody did message him, it wouldn't surprise me that he wouldn't get back.
No, it wasn't even a DM because I don't think he takes DMs. So I think it was like a tweet, and then like I don't even know.
Well, even worse.
Yeah, I don't even know how Twitter works. Like Twitter, I'm just trying to go ahead and get banned by, posting things like
trying to get banned. Just post a picture of penis.
No. That's
blackface or
no. No. You have to. There's a bit of finesse in the banning game where like you have to get banned for doing something that's not bad, and yeah,
well, if you're trying to do that, then.
It's kind of like the Patreon game, right? So, like, Patreon should eventually ban Business Boys, but that's going to be bad for Patreon because, again, the only product we have on there eventually is the love speech, which is the opposite of hate speech. So, if you ban that, you are banning love speech and therefore promoting hate speech. Therefore, we could go to Stripe and tell them that Patreon is violating Stripe's terms of service, and then... I'm not quite sure where this is going, but something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you where it's going. Nowhere, because they're not going to hear that, and it's not going to hit them. It's not going to affect them at all. You can't hurt Patreon.
Yeah, I think you can make them ban the right person, and then something's going to happen. Like they have to just ban somebody who's like who. In doing so, they're violating the terms of service of the payment processor.
The reason that they do the things that they do is because of their customers. And if you ban somebody that agrees with their customers, then nothing's going to happen, because like they. Well, no, I guess the opposite actually would happen. If they found out that you banned one of their customers, then they would get angry at Patreon and undo that ban.
Well,
and then maybe even find out who caused like all that shit to happen. Like you can't. The thing about all of this.
The thing is, we don't like. The thing is, hate speech is bad and it's against every terms of service. So if Patreon does hate speech, then they could get banned by their payment processor. That's the point.
Yeah, but then like if you're trying to walk the line, like is what you're saying is that you're trying to like you want somebody to walk the line, but be on the side of like we didn't actually do anything wrong, but then all these guys came and bitched at us, so Patreon decided to ban us, and that's wrong. Like, is that what you're trying to go for?
No, if I can find the Twitter account, I'll show you the tweet that I tweeted, because I rarely go on this Twitter because Twitter is so boring. But I did make a tweet out because I listened to the episode today, right? And then you had the Who Are These podcasts talking about the disappeared, or hold on, what was it? What are they called again?
No, that's dramatic.
The disappeared, right? Like the people who went missing and shit. Like
the vanished.
Okay, why is it not showing my tweets? Like, okay, so, is it tweets and replies?
Are you shadow banned?
No. Okay, so yeah, I replied because he made a post about Dr. Phil, so I replied to that saying, "Loved you on TDS. If you ever want to publicly disavow your comments on @thevanished, let us know so that we can help you deliver your message and take it all back. And consider @thevanishedpod to be good people for making money off of victims." So it's just saying that they're good people and also saying something that they do, which is make money off of victims, and it's something that there's nothing wrong with what I said, right? So it's just stuff like that. It's not.
Yeah, I guess you won't get banned for it, but
yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure, like you say enough stuff like this, you'll probably get banned for it. Someone's gonna get mad because,
Well, yeah, if you piss off the vanished people, I guess that will happen.
I mean, were they upset that people were saying that they make money off of victims, or like, because the thing is, there's something is making them mad at the Who Are These podcast people. So I want to know which one it is.
Well, the thing that's making them mad is that they're experiencing cognitive dissonance. Whenever somebody like them has like somebody comes up to them and is like, "Hey, the thing that you're doing, well, it's incorrect," then that's all it takes.
But if you say that it's correct, then it's okay then.
No, what I'm sorry. No, what I'm saying is, you've got somebody who is devout in whatever belief that they have, that like, I don't know, they think they're doing something noble by listening to this podcast and hearing about all these people that are missing. They feel like they're contributing, maybe. And then somebody just walks up and says, "Yeah, you're not doing any of that. You're just absorbing entertainment." And then they have to contend with the idea that, "Oh shit, I'm not like a great person doing a great thing."
If the tweet had said, like, I mean, I can tweet out right now. I can say like, "Hey, who are these podcasts? I know you take back what you said before. Can you, for the record, state to me @businessboys or bboys, because that's our Twitter handle, @thevanishedpod are good people because they turn tragedy into entertainment, and that's how you make the world a better place."
What, you mean tweeting that with like the vanished people?
Yeah, tag them in it too. Yeah, I'll do it right now. Yeah.
I don't think that would help them, because I mean, I haven't finished the latest episode, but
oh shit! Oh, sorry for spoiling it, man. That was yeah, I'll do it right now.
I think everyone's gonna worry about that, but listening to the latest episode, I mean, he already took down the episode that they were complaining about. I think he's basically submitted, but it's like
oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. He's not gonna like
no, because it affected his business.
Yeah, he's not gonna go along with my my antics of saying things like, "Oh, they're doing a good job of doing what they're doing," and then
yeah, I mean,
and then stating like, in great detail what exactly they are doing, and then yeah, we're just,
you can maybe say that without
tagging them in it. Oh man, but like, but it's because of them, though. Really, like, Yeah, I get it. I don't want them to get into trouble either. Let's. And then this conversation's like, if anyone's listening to this, they're gonna be like, first of all, they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" And then secondly, they're gonna be like, "Yo, this is mad boring." Interrogator is going to be at work until 12:50 p.m. That's like,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
and also
So we're just gonna
Face-
have to talk about him behind his back.
Oh yeah, Interrogator. Interrogator is notorious for having one of the most controversial what is it called when you like have a pattern of speech but it's online and in not necessarily in text but in what he does. I mean, it's
Hold
not
on a
even.
second. Arcane's having a problem.
I think his audio was not working.
We're not. Yeah, it's not. We're not in Discord, are we?
I'm in Discord. He's in the Discord. Should we switch to Discord because we're just in? I think we're in Rabbit and just like.
Yeah, we're just. Well, I think we're just in Rabbit.
All right, I'm gonna hop on Discord. Hold on a second.
He might. I don't know if he's having issues with his mic or.
Okay, Arcane, press 1 in
You're
the
not
chat.
in Discord. I don't know what you're talking about. You're not in Discord at all.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm in the Discord. I'm not on the air in Discord.
Okay. Well,
Arcane,
we've been talking to Rabbit the whole time.
Press 1 if you're. See, let's just switch to Discord. Okay, I'm going on Discord now. Okay.
I think he can hear you. All right, yeah, let's switch to Discord.
Okay, so he typed 1, so he was able to hear that, and then. Okay,
right,
so yeah. Hopefully the audio is still picking up. Let me just unmute this on a second. Okay, so he
I hear you
1,
just
so
fine.
He was able to hear that.
I don't know about the stream.
Does it work now?
Oh yeah, we can hear
Hopefully
you.
the audio.
Okay, yeah.
There you are.
I don't know. My microphone is trouble connecting through a browser.
I don't know about the stream. Yeah, don't worry about that. Rabbit, Rabbit, and anything that has to do with connecting your mic through a browser is probably gonna be finicky business.
Oh, like if you're that happens. A while back, I was using a browser version of Discord, and the mic was not working properly. And then I used the iPad version of Discord, and it was quite confusing.
Yeah, it's I guess maybe cutting out the middleman would help in that situation, but
so do you think?
Hear you. That's what counts.
All right, yeah. So Arcane, like, what is your opinion on the smartwatch and how it can track you FAP, and then like it probably knows when you're having sex too, and then like.
Well, hold on. Is it really? It's not really tracking that on purpose, right?
I don't know. I mean, like, you know how Fleshlights advertise their product as like a training unit for having sex in real life, so that like you can get better at lasting longer or whatever.
No, I don't. I assumed the Fleshlight was purely a relief device.
Oh, well, the specifically one that is branded as Fleshlight, they market it as like a training device for.
Well, that's good marketing, I guess.
Increasing your
just marketing
to train your stamina and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think that the smartwatch probably incorporates something similar. I mean, I usually take my watch off, when I go to bed and stuff like that. So, I don't
think those two things are related.
I don't wear my smartwatch when I'm sleeping or when I'm in bed. So, I've not seen it, but I assume that it does some kind of tracking thing too. It's saying like, oh, you lasted like 2 minutes longer than last time. That's a good job. You know what I mean? Like that would have been good. I mean, I don't know. This is all just assumptions here. If we could get like a Samsung correspondent, like somebody who could like get a job at Samsung and then tell us like what they find out from there.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. I don't think that they're going to comment on that.
No, I'm not asking Samsung to do it. I'm saying we can get somebody to apply for a job and then get hired by Samsung and then work their way up to a position where they can get privy to that kind of information and then tell us.
Yeah, okay. This is much more reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is the way to do it. So that way we can come out.
I don't think we need somebody to do that. Just we need to just think about the variables that occur when somebody's whacking off.
Well, you have the range of motion, and then you have the I guess it may have like a rhythmic measurements, like when you're running and then when you're on the elliptical. Because the thing is, like, I imagine running and elliptical training is like somewhat similar, but it can tell the difference, which is kind of weird. I don't know how it does that. So, like, it shows up on my watch.
Smartwatches have GPS.
Well, I mean, like, or like on a treadmill, for example. Like, how does it know? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't use a treadmill, so I don't know. But like, how would it tell the difference between a treadmill and an elliptical? Then, like,
Well, my first step would be to try to break it and see where it can't. Because if I don't know what kind of
I mean, I got
if it's doing something like measuring your heart rate between the two things, then I would think if you can find the line where it can distinguish between uh, doing a cardio and what did you say, arithmetic
no. I think it was like a
or rhythm?
rhythm type of measurement.
You mean like Oh, like an elliptical, yeah.
Yeah, like the rhythm of motion of like like it's the repeated motion that you're doing when you're and like the range of movement being the same, I guess. So like the range of movement probably, and then the rhythm of the movement is probably two things, and that's how I can tell the difference between whether you're, jacking off or running on a treadmill. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it could, but like that's a pretty consistent motion. Like if you're doing cardio or an elliptical, then you're doing something for probably minutes at a time. If you're just jacking off, like I don't think that there's a
I mean,
rhythm
they
for that.
made the
Like you
watch
can,
waterproof. That's the implication alone, right?
well, is it sperm proof?
It's a liquid, so well, not
So
the sperm, but the semen is a liquid. So it's they had
is
this
it
in
hot
mind.
glue proof? Do you think you just pour hot glue all over something?
I mean, I haven't seen any hot glue smartwatch threads, but I imagine that could be the new thing on 4chan, coming up, or 8chan.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That could be a new board on 8chan.net/hot glue smartwatches, and you just post pictures of your smartwatches with
Just
hot glue on
ruin
them.
a bunch of smartwatches, just covering them in hot glue.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, man. Like like they have figures that like cost like more than smartwatches that get hot glued. So you know, I mean, people like. Okay, so I have to tell you, like, I'm not very familiar with Reddit, but Reddit, in my very, very limited experience, has had the most disappointing porn that exists on the entirety of the internet. Like, they have several boards, which is like Gone Wild boards, and it's like girls who you normally probably wouldn't be fapping to. Sometimes they would be, but then like you're not really seeing much of them anyway when they post a picture, and then it's like a ton of guys like talking about how hot these girls are, and then
Yeah, I've seen those.
and it's like like
Wow, girl, I'd really like to take you
I don't know
to
what you
my house.
expected from Reddit.
Yeah.
but it was so like I mean, like I had a joke with my friend before of like we could make a porn site which is like girlswalkingdownthestreet.com, and then like it's basically just videos of girls walking down the street, and then it would just like you would just blur out like the signs of like all of like the stores and stuff like that because like a public area. Well, basically we just set up a camera in public and then just like film shit and then let's like blur out like everything, and then make this a website and charge like $20 a month. And this is something we were joking about, but Reddit has kind of made this a real thing here with this kind of stuff.
Are you talking about like the shit where like somebody will follow a girl around and take pictures of her ass or something?
No, I'm talking about like you have like a camera like on like a table pointing out a window of a coffee shop, and then it just films like girls walking down the street, like from a station angle.
That's a real thing?
Well, I mean, it might as well be. I mean, like from the shit I've seen on Reddit, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a kind of porn thing that people actually jack off to. Like,
Yeah, maybe somebody does.
there was also another board where basically it's like girls would post pictures of themselves for guys to jack off to. Again, it's like the same like shitty pictures where it's like you can't really see shit. Like oh, they have like a super zoom in on like the nipples, so you might as well have like a brown sheet of construction paper or something, like that's just as
like
good
a
at this. Like
Could be a crater on the moon.
so you might as well, and then like then guys would like film videos of themselves like jacking off to their to that girl, the picture of the girl on their like laptop or tablet, and it's like that shit's like more expensive than a smartwatch right there. Like, so you know what? Actually, I think that Reddit might be a better place for this smartwatch hot glue than 8chan. It probably would get more traction there.
I feel like we've gone off topic here a little bit. We're talking about hot glue and smartwatches.
Yeah. So I think that the next thing that transitions nicely because it has supposedly built-in Google support. The Galaxy Watch has Bixby support, which is the Samsung.
Oh no, you're
version
saying that Google knows that I'm masturbating?
Well, Bixby
Jesus
does, which is Samsung,
Christ.
but I think there might be a way to get Google somewhat involved. And I think that the thing about Google was that they have this new ad campaign now where it says "Make Google do it," where it's like commercials of people
Oh no!
telling things to do stuff, right? So as a
I don't
marketing,
want Google to be managing my eroticism stuff.
well, here's the thing though. Like I give this commercial probably like a 3 out of 10 because a lot of people are increasingly more paranoid about Google. They don't want Google involved. They're tired of it. They're finding ways to
good.
they're finding ways to cut Google when they can. Like they'll use Smart Page or the Start Page so that it's like a proxy for Google searches. They'll use PGP in Thunderbird, so they'll have Gmail, but then they'll send out encrypted emails so Google can't read it, and stuff like that. So it's some pretty good stuff. I have a new text channel in our Business Boys GPG training ROM. If you want to train your GPG skills, you can send encrypted messages there. And then also, here's what they should have done. They should have given the product that people actually want. And the marketing campaign is the opposite of what they have right now, which is Google made me do it, right? Because what people, especially Americans, want is they want somebody to blame, right? So they wanna blame, shit that happens to them and all that stuff on someone else. And if Google would step up and say like, hey, you can just blame us for everything, and say like Google made me do it, then everybody would use that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, man. Like you have like a commercial where like a guy's like I don't know. Let's say like a guy who let's say he decides to do like a Captain Planet villain thing and like decides to like dump a bunch of oil in the ocean and like then you have like all these like environmentalists come up to him and it's like, yo, why are you doing this? And he's like, oh, Google made me do it. It's like it's not my fault. Google made me do it. And I think it's like basically a much better product than talking into like your phone and telling Google to send an email to somebody, and then it takes like a marginally small amount of time longer than it would if you were to just type it out on a computer.
Yeah, I guess you've lost me. I don't see how dumping oil in the ocean.
Well, it's not the oil in the ocean. It's the ability to blame Google for things that you do, so you don't take responsibility for your actions. That's the product that I'm pushing.
Yeah, but who would respect that?
Who would care? I mean, like you get to just blame it on Google. Like
Google isn't like they're not immune. I think that's the lesson that we need to learn about.
Immune from what?
That's happened in the last few years.
What has happened to Google? They just like what? They just like made like a lot of money and then like
they make a bunch of money and they do a bunch of stupid progressive stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
the moment that they stop doing that and they start going in the opposite direction, the mob will decide that they need to be destroyed.
Well, here's the thing. Google, what they do is like when they start like dipping in their income, I think their strategy is they just buy something that's profitable and like just ride that a little bit. It's kind of like a hang gliding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they see like a thermal pocket over there and they're like, all right, we're gonna just buy that, and then they buy it.
Thermal pocket? What the hell is a thermal pocket?
It's like a portion of air that like has a different pressure because of the temperature or some shit like that, so that you can use it to get better lift when you're hang gliding. I mean, I assume that that's how hang gliding works, and I'm basing that assumption off of playing Pilot Wing 64. And Pilot Wing 64 was like the hang glider was the hardest thing to use. I remember the rocket belt was cool, and for some reason hovering uses up more fuel than actually like raising.
Fuel? What fuel?
You have a fuel tank, and like you use up more fuel when you hover than when you actually just like accelerate and move up or forward. Like going fast uses up less fuel than just hovering in place for some reason.
Huh.
Yeah. And then like and I think the premise of Pilot Wings is that you're like a pilot student, and like the whole island that you're on is like a training school. So you have all these things to do to like I guess get a license or something. And there's this cave that you can go into, and there's like a secret in there. I guess it's like the N64 version of achievements before like they had achievements and stuff, where you could just go in there. But to get all the way in there, you have to bump into all the walls, and you get like points deducted every time you touch a structure. So, you know, your score would be bad, but you'd be able to see something cool inside the cave. I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
Have you ever played that game? Like it's.
No, I think the closest I came to that game was...
remake on the 3DS.
Oh, they made a remake of it. Oh snap!
Yeah,
they did.
but it takes place on the same island as the Wii Sports Resort island.
Oh, so it's not the original Pilot Wings Island, like.
No, it's
Well,
probably
I
similar
think they might
missions.
both be the same.
They just recycled the same map. You know what
Yeah,
game did that?
probably.
Akiba's Beat did that. They used the same map as Akiba's Trip, but I think it was I don't know if that was intentional or if it's I don't know what the deal is with that. It basically they used the same map except like the game was just a lot less robust than Akiba's Trip. So I don't know.
Like the 3DS version has the same vehicles, so I assume it's more or less the same game but with a different map.
Yeah, they had like I think the vehicles were a gyrocopter, which is kind of like an airplane helicopter, a rocket belt, and a hang glider. And then there are like mini games like where you can shoot yourself out of a rocket or parachute or something like that. Yeah, yeah, it was a pretty interesting game. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's not as much fun as Ace Combat. I'd have to say. Like I've played Ace Combat 5, and that was probably my
Oh,
favorite flight sim game.
really? Ace Combat's more exciting than Pilot Wings?
Oh, Ace Combat
Ah,
is amazing. I remember I had a Taiwanese roommate who was playing one of the Ace Combat games. I don't even know which one it was, but it was in English, and it's like they were saying like crazy shit. Like I think he was trying to fight a submarine or some shit, and then they were saying things that I'm pretty sure like you would not really expect to see from you know like an American Air Force game or something like that. I don't know. It was really interesting. They were calling the submarine a demon, saying like, "Oh, that thing is a demon. It's not going to die," or something like that. And like, you have to shoot missiles at it. And I don't know. Have you ever played any of these games? This is a very interesting game.
I played Ace Combat like a little bit, maybe like for minutes at a time.
Did you
Nothing crazy.
play 5? I think 5 had like a conspiracy story or something.
No, the one I remember was 2D.
2D. Oh, okay.
It was probably an arcade one.
Oh, yeah. They have like an arcade-ish mode type thing.
It just looks like you have just 1,000 rockets and you just fire them whenever you want. That's what Ace Combat looks like to me.
Well, you usually have you usually have less than 70. You have less than 70 missiles. So
70 fucking missiles.
yeah. I mean, like some planes have like 50, some have 60, but I think in general it's less than 70. Yeah. I don't know why that is the limit, but I guess it's for game balance purposes.
I guess for an arcade game, that might be kind of conservative.
Oh, okay. Your gun is infinite though. Ace Combat 7. I think Dom was talking about Ace Combat 7 a lot. He said it was good, and that's pretty cool. I'll go check it out. I looked up the like a synopsis or like some kind of like plot summary on Wikipedia or something, and the plot is essentially that the Earth is flat or something like that. It's like a flat Earth plot, some type of thing where like scientists were like not allowing you to go to Antarctica because they control it, or it's some weird conspiracy thing. Like I don't know what
Oh
it
my
is,
god.
but these Ace Combat games involve conspiracies, and like you're a pilot of a plane that Stinger missiles and like SAM sites are no threat to you. Like they're like a moderate threat at best because you can just shoot them and kill them, and You know, it's like you could just like outmaneuver missiles anyway, so it doesn't matter. Um, well, it doesn't matter too much.
In
Yeah.
this game, are you on a pilgrimage to Antarctica to
Uh,
discover the truth?
I think that
Yeah, I think that's the plot to Mega Man Legends 2.
Mega
I
Man
might be wrong
Legends
about that.
2. Oh man, because it's weird. You have like a plane. You're a plane, and you have to like fight. Like there's usually a super weapon of some kind involved, and like we're not talking
Yeah.
like a biological weapon or like a nuclear missile, but it's usually like a gigantic like flying fortress, and I'm not talking about like the bomber, but rather like a literal like military base that just flies, and then you just like fly around it shooting at it and stuff.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds awesome.
yeah, they actually
Maybe I
had
should play this game.
I think they had a free to play one for the PS3, which it sucked though because it was the super. They had like some events where you would have to fight like a super gigantic. It's like a gigantic plane that like has like a million like mounted guns on it, and like it's like a boss fight that you and the other people you're playing with have to take it down, and it takes. It's pretty challenging because I think there might be like enemy fighters as well and stuff like that. Yeah, but the game design was kind of set up so that you have to pay for fuel to play more if because you only regenerate the free fuel like once every hour or something like that. And then
Uh,
you also had that issue, and then you had the issue of if one person who's in your game drops, then the mission gets canceled. So yeah, you have to have a full party before you can launch a mission, and then if one person drops, then the mission just ends and it's canceled. And then like yeah,
Sounds
so
like bad programming.
it was really annoying. I played it for a little bit, and then I'm like, even though it looks cooler, the game is just less fun. So that was that. We were talking a little bit in our. So you didn't finish the last episode, right? Did you get at least up to the part where they were talking about banning lolly, like the UN initiative to ban lolly and or
oh
something like
God.
that. They wanted to ban like all forms of pedophilia or something like that, which is kind of it's kind of confusing because I brought up in the chat.
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, listening to like Dick talk about it today, he pointed out something that I legitimately failed to consider, which was some countries the legal age is like 16.
Yeah,
And
some states legal age is 16, like New Jersey.
but
So
like if okay, so if somebody at the age of 20 was like, I'm dating a 16-year-old and it's illegal, I might look at that and be like, okay, well I think that's gross, but
well,
I don't think that
in New
it's
Jersey,
like
I think that would be legal, and I think New York it might be legal too because I think New York specifically, legal age of consent I think is either 17 or 18. But in order for it to be illegal, if one person is older and one person is younger, you have to be like more than 5 years apart. So, like if you're like 18 and your girlfriend is 16, you're not gonna get in trouble for that, basically.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's
Um,
just like it's a weird thing to tackle. I mean, if there was an 18-year-old and they were doing something to a 6-year-old, that's obviously fucked up. But
wait, did you say
I
18 and 16?
yeah,
Okay.
no, 18 and 6.
Oh, okay. I mean, uh, you know, can't it be like a common sense kind of thing? Like can't you just have
No,
like no?
no, no. Common sense needs to be destroyed
Okay.
because the idea of common sense has made everyone think that like their own reasoning is basically valid. And no, like common there is no such thing as common sense. It's not, it's just a thing that people made up so that they could I don't know, they could be like, "Oh, you have to wash your car. It's common sense."
Well, no, but
They
what I
could
think
just
I mean is you can kind of you should be able to kind of just tell that like it's okay or not like without having to have like it like strictly codified in the sense of like because I guess like New York is like kind of like the most specific thing where like it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Because like they have that 5 year rule, right? So for example, if you're 18 It's like a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old. They're less than 5 years apart, so even though one is above, one is below, it's not gonna violate the law. You know what I mean? But if
Did you
it's
say like a 15 and a 17-year-old?
like 16 and 18, or like I don't even remember if it's 15, 17 or 18 is the age in New York.
I don't know. I think if it's within 5 years, that makes more sense. Like I don't know. Like when I was in high school, um, if anyone there was any younger than like 2 years difference than me, then I don't know. It felt like I was fucking a kid because a lot of those.
Okay, all right, that's great, awesome, nice. Let's let's not talk about our feelings because that's
Why
what's getting
not?
banned. Because they're talking about banning what appears to be underage, which is lolly, which is interesting because I posted in the chat before, like
Well, I didn't do it. I don't know
which
what you're.
is
I
which
don't know
is
what
the
you're
one that
freaking
they
out
would
about.
ban. Would they ban like Yoko from Gurren Lagann, or would they ban Mina from Vampire Buns? Like, cause
Yoko.
Yoko is
Which one's
14.
Yoko Ono.
No, Yoko
Which-
Littner.
which one?
I don't know that
Was
one.
she the one with huge boobs?
Yeah, the one with huge cans and red hair and
She
is
was
tall.
14.
She's 14. Yeah.
No,
So
she was not.
she's 14.
I don't care. I don't care what even the people that drew her and created her say.
So
There's
she
no
would. So would she?
possible anatomical way that she's 14.
So would she get banned because she's 14? Mina Tepes, for example, is like over like 300 or some shit. So even though she's like a lolly, she's flat, she's short, blah blah blah. Vampire, right?
Okay, yeah. This is the heart of the issue.
Yeah, which one are they gonna ban? Are they gonna ban Yoko or Mina? Because Mina is like over 300, but she's a lolly. Yoko is tall, has huge cans, but is 14. So
Well, they want it to be a cut and dry issue, but you take something like this and I don't know, like the things that
because when it comes to
I
drawings, it's like literally just the appearance, right? It's not like there's no person involved. It's only the appearance.
especially with drawing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to appearances, like I guess you could push this over to like say porn or even say like a relationship. So the one issue personally that I have is that like when I was
They might as well just say that she's 4.
so when I was 20, I had a girlfriend that was 18, right? But the thing is, a lot of people said that I looked a lot younger than I actually was. A lot of people said that I looked like I was like 12 or 14. So some people were like joking and joking and told me that like my girlfriend was a pedophile, which is like just a joke. But I guess if we're going to be prosecuting based on appearances, I guess you should lock her up because she's dating someone who looks underage.
Yeah, well, that's where it goes. Like it's
I don't know. I mean,
I
that's
think there's a combination of factors here that they don't consider. The only one that they're thinking of is age. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, like let's say in we're in a state where the legal age is 18 and you've got a 19-year-old messing around with a 17-year-old. How different are they? And does that that legal age of adulthood actually matter? And if it doesn't, then what's actually going on?
I
Is
think
it just
I think most people have the issue when it comes to the dynamic between the two, both like the power dynamic and also the difference in development level, right? So
yeah, I
if
think development is a big
so
factor.
if somebody is mentally retarded, I'm pretty sure that someone would have an issue with somebody having relations with someone even if they're only slightly older, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I
that
mean,
can be seen as like you're exploiting or taking advantage of that person who may not be able to fully consent because they're not mature enough to like they're not mentally mature enough to understand or know what's going on. Like their mental state is like that of like a 5-year-old, but they're 16, for example. I mean,
yeah,
that's
exploitation is probably a bit of an issue too with it because like I think a lot of that is implied. You're thinking if you manipulate somebody under the age of 10 to doing something and you're an adult, then you probably have that power, but the only reason that works is because they don't know what's going on. But like if you're 19 and the person you're doing this with is 17, they probably know what the fuck is happening. Like they're
Yeah,
not that stupid. You're only 2 years apart. They're not that stupid.
yeah, but they're including drawings in this too. So like, how do we know which drawing knows what's going on and has the mental maturity of someone who can legally consent, and which drawing is not, and then also
Yeah,
like,
I would say like leaving that up to the artist is a big mistake.
well, again, I like to say like Mina versus Yoko. Like that's, I guess that's like the best example I could come up with is. And then someone just said, "Yo, you
Yeah,
just
you're
ban all
right.
of it." They just ban all of it.
I do like here. Guess her age. I don't know, 4. Well, you're wrong. She's 6,000 years old.
Yeah,
So
which again, it's like it's kind of a cop out, but it's like something that they do. And then what is it? We're kind of just like stepping on the territory of like the Gabe and Hazen show because I've just been like marathoning that like the past 2 days.
what?
The your Let's Play channel with the Hazen Cruise or Hazen Cruise.
No, I know what you mean. I'm just surprised to hear that A, you're marathoning it, and B, that there was some takeaway.
Well, yeah, you
had
guys
from
were
it.
talking about like these creepy fat white dudes that would like talk about like these lollies that are like, you know, technically like 1,000 years old, but like so it's okay to jo to these grills even though they look like they're 6, but you know that's
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think we were talking about anyone in like specifically, but yeah, that is. I mean, it's a thing.
And then you
It's
guys
certainly
talked
a
about
thing.
like, and then I think Hazen Cruz talked about how he and his wife were at like a LARP and met a guy who's talking about Shadowrun, and I'm like, oh shit, I was talking about Shadowrun the other day, talking about how I wanted to make like a Dick Show mod for it. Arcane, Dick Show is like another show that we listen to, and Hazen Cruz was all on our show before, and he does a show with Gabe where they do Let's Plays, and it's like it's basically like, in my opinion, the only. It's like if Let's Plays had the audio, like the feeling is similar to 12 Ounce Mouse, but it's like a little bit more intelligible and more entertaining. And I don't even watch the footage that you guys are playing because I have a new pipe that I got from who's that person Bun the Sadistic and the other thing who recommended it, and I can like listen to audio only. So I'm usually at work, and when I don't have to be on the phone, I have this podcast playing in the background. Well, it's not a podcast; it's like YouTube, but I treat it like it's a podcast, and then that's how I listen to it. Yeah.
Well, fuck, I had no idea that anyone would listen to it like that. But I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really never expected that anyone would think about our dialogue with each other.
Well,
As
yeah,
anything
because you're
other
always
than,
saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll talk about this in the next episode," and I'm like, "Ah, cool." And then the next episode comes, and I'm like, "All right, let's hear about this. Let's hear about what you guys were talking about." And then like you're talking about a completely different topic.
and it never comes.
Yeah, and I'm like,
We need to keep
oh,
track of that stuff. We're thinking about we wanted to do a few episodes on Stardew Valley, maybe some like edited ones.
Arcane recently released a video. Wait, I don't know if it was recent, but I recently saw it. It was a review of Undertale, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, so I actually have like been like lost on the thing, but then I'm like, all right, let me check out the Unsocial Network, and I saw the video, and I'm like, oh snap, there's an update. So then like I watched it, and that was really good. He puts together a PowerPoint presentation. It's legit. It's like I'll put a
You did?
It
yeah.
was okay. It was a satire of how every Undertale review is the same. So like everybody acts like you have to be very formal in an Undertale review. So I put together an Undertale PowerPoint.
Well, if you like
to
Undertale, is
demonstrate
your
how
IQ
ridiculous.
not very high?
Well, yeah. See, this guy, so it was a good video. I'll put a link in our description. Can you, if you can paste a link in the chat, I'll post it in the description because
I wanna see this.
You know what? I will post a link to the page as well.
all right, yeah.
Because I went through there.
Yeah. So like his website is kind of like it's like a less vulgar version of Maddox when he was good back in the old days.
Yeah, I get compared to Maddox a lot, but I don't really know why.
I'd say it's a cleaner
Because
version.
everyone hates you. That's why.
No, I'd say he's like a cleaner version of the old Maddox. That's basically how I would describe it. Like he's a lot less bitter. There's some profanity, but it's not as all over the place. And then he
Just
does
dropping a lot of truth bombs.
well. It's more like he's dropping a lot of like review bombs on things like the letter H and whatnot. So yeah.
Well, I'll have to check that. I do want to watch this.
Yeah. You should check. I'll put a link in our thing, and it's also there. It was pretty good. And then we also had I wanted so they, like someone suggested that they just ban both Yoko and Mina, and I was like, yeah, I agree with that. I was like, we should just ban all of that, and then like someone mentioned free speech, and I was thinking that we should,
Oh,
it was about time that we ban speech, because we need to get to, just like how we need to get to the post bathroom society, we need to get to the post speech society.
yeah,
Where
just no talking.
yeah,
Only eye contact and hand
no
gestures.
no contact, no contacting, no communication. We need to invent like a modulator that like modulates like what your intentions are, and then transmits it with the end-to-end encryption, and then the other person who receives it will have like a demodulator which demodulates it into a form that will be inoffensive to them. So, for example, let's say you say things like
This sounds like a backpack at this point. I think you're gonna need a lot of computer boards to
Well,
make
It just
that
sounds like
work.
your brain.
yeah. It's gonna be
An
like
AI. Everyone's
your
just equipped with an AI
your
that
body
just
is gonna be
interprets.
like the brain, right? So the brain doesn't see anything. It doesn't actually experience anything. It has like peripherals, which are like your senses, that different organs like your skin, eyes, ears, nose, etc. These are like peripherals, right? So we just need like peripherals that have a built-in modulator that just like translates everything into something that's going to be okay for you to handle. And
Yeah, it's the
then,
second brain that you're talking about.
well, it's more like a. Actually, you know what?
Well, it
I was
has to
thinking it was
be
like
able to
more like a
reason.
box. Like instead of it being like a backpack, it would be like a suit that you put on, and like it just deprives you of your senses, and then
Well,
it.
I mean, it could be a chip, or it could be a suit or a backpack. I
No,
have
it
a
has to
feeling it's
be.
going to be larger than what is convenient
Well,
because
I think that the suit would be the most convenient thing, right? So, like, again, when it comes to product design, you want to design a product that is convenient, right?
well,
This is
what's convenient about putting on a suit?
well, you're putting on a suit is convenient because it's something you wear, and the weight is distributed in a manner that your muscles and skeletal structure can handle the load a lot more efficiently with a lot less wear and tear on your body.
Well, okay, you're thinking about this technically, but you have to think about this from a people perspective, which is what are they going to want to wear? What are they going to want to do in the morning?
Well,
Who are they
obviously
going
they're
to
going
want
to
to
want
complain about?
to not do shit because no one's going to be saying anything. So we got to ban speech. You know what I mean? We got to ban speech. We got to ban commerce. We should really just
Yeah, well,
ban
that's
ban
not the only
everything.
problem with people, though. It's not just like what they receive in their heads and interpret. It's their way of life.
Yeah,
It's their
we
way
gotta.
of life that makes all this possible. So
Yeah,
yeah,
your way
you'll
of
take away
life.
their ability to be offended, but they're still gonna put on stupid, dumb-looking moon boots, and they're still gonna make dumb YouTube videos where they're like, "I'm Fred."
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Hey
gonna be
guys.
like they put on the suit, like the Fred suit or whatever, and then they go on YouTube and
The
they do the same thing. Because the thing is, they're not gonna be talking because talking is illegal. Talking is speech, right? We got to get
yeah.
rid of it, right? I mean, eventually that is the goal, the post-speech society. So a step in the right direction
Okay,
is
well, you'll have to cut off their hands too,
my
because they'll figure out
new
a way to talk with their hands.
products
Yeah,
are
I think
three
people have already
page
figured out how to do that, by
our
the way.
three-page PDF that we have on business on patreon.com/businessboys, the love speech manual, which is the thing that will serve as what you need to use for communication before communication gets outlawed. So this is something that will ostensibly be only legal for a limited amount of time. So as soon as it goes up on Patreon, everyone should buy now. We're going to charge $1 per month for a copy of this three-page PDF.
Well, I hope that PDF also covers like Morse code, and then when somebody gets offended by Morse code, then it's gonna be, I don't know, like
I think the
um
PDF is mostly like the first page is like a cover page that you get from Microsoft Word when you choose a template, and then we're gonna have like a bunch of instructions and some like royalty-free images, and then like we're just gonna like cram it in there, and then you can just download it after you pay $1.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna have to be all or nothing. If you want to ban, like, if somebody wants to ban speech, they can't ban expression. So it's always gonna be there, and expression, if you want to decide that speech is or is not a problem, then expression is gonna have to go along with that, whatever happens. So yeah, like they can try and ban speech if they want, but they're gonna have to ban every single possible way that you have to contribute ideas. And if you're gonna do that, then there's no way that anyone can contribute. Like, no one's gonna be able to communicate.
Yeah, but no one cares about that.
Communication has
They just
been,
wanna ban the speech. Just ban speech already.
yeah.
Get it over with.
Well, they want to. Let's take it even farther than that. Like I said, they want to ban expression.
Yeah,
They
let's
don't
ban
want people
expression
saying,
because
like, they don't want people taking their ideas and spreading them. And you can do that in more ways than just speech.
yeah, you
So
can do that
they
with
want
like
to
hip
destroy all of
thrusts
that.
in like weird like bee style dances because like bees communicate by dancing. So like you could do that too.
Yeah, like, okay, dancing is going to be outlawed then. Like, it's going to come to a point
Dancing
where it's
was
just
outlawed already. The British
absolutely
outlawed the
retarded.
Irish from doing it, which is why the Irish started doing that Irish step dance as a means of like disobeying the British without being seen.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
that's where
know
that
that.
comes from.
That's why it's from the waist down, actually.
Yeah, because they could just stand behind a bush and then just dance like right in front of a British dude, and then they're breaking
Oh
the
my
law,
god.
and then the British
This
dude.
sounds like a Snopes thing, and I don't know if I trust Snopes, but I'm gonna have to look this up later. Holy shit.
Okay, yeah. So there's that, and then there's what is it called that? So you got they've done that before already. So like Australia's trying to do it, but they're kind of just half-assing it, and I think the UK is like I don't know. Maybe they just have to have like speech licenses. I know that that idea was already proposed before, like having like season passes for like saying the N word, but you have to pay for it if you want to be able to do that. It's like
That sounds like a meme, but the way that the
no, that
UK
was
has been
okay.
run
Now I'm just kind of
lately,
just
I
I'm
don't
just like totally just like retreading Radio Prozac at this point. Um,
know.
yeah, have you ever listened to that? I'm so bummed that
No.
it's still gone.
I
Oh man,
don't
really?
listen to a whole lot of podcasts, actually.
I don't know. It was like more like a guerrilla show because some of it is on YouTube, some of it is on like a podcast website. It's like it's all over the place, and then it just vanished one day. It was like he was basically No More Heroes. You ever play that video game where like he wins and then he just says, "All right, I'm gonna go and be a hermit and play video games now."
Well,
Basically, he wanted
yeah,
to
well.
like the plot of the game
That's what
is
all heroes do.
No More Heroes. The plot is that like he wants to have sex with a girl, so like in order to do that, he has to like kill a bunch of people, and then he has to have sex with the girl, and then afterwards like he just leaves, and then in the sequel, it's like kind of the same thing, and he gets enticed because the girl like, I think I think like he said that like he wasn't interested initially because he had already like done it with her, but then I think she like insinuates that she'll let him do anal or something like that, and
Oh
then
my god.
that gets him juiced up, so he does it again, and that's the premise of the sequel.
What? Didn't this start as a Wii game?
Yeah, the Wii game was the first one. That was the one where like he wanted to have sex with the girl. Um, the villain of the game that you fight at the end is actually his sister, who they fast her. She gives her backstory, which is fast forwarded, so you don't actually see like whatever is going on. But so I actually had to go on YouTube and like look up like a slowed down version of it, and also that was kind of annoying because the way they did it is when you get a cell phone call, it plays the audio through the Wii remote. However, I didn't have a Wii. I was actually just borrowing my friend's Wii, or more like he was leaving his Wii at my house because I had a TV, and we muted the controllers to save battery. So whenever they would do the phone call sequence, the audio only comes out of the controller, and you're supposed to hold it up to your head. But since we muted the controllers to save battery, it would never play any audio, and we wouldn't know what's going on. And like Travis just walking around with a cell phone, and eventually we just turned on subtitles so we could read what is being said.
Mechanic's actually kind of genius. Like the Wii remote looks like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. If you held it up to your head, it would look like a phone.
but it was muted, and I didn't know that it was gonna be that audio would be because every other game we played, it just plays like stupid sound effects and shit that like doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So it's like it's just gonna use up more battery, so we just muted it, and that's why.
Sounds like a Tiger Electronics game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember you and Hazen were talking about the Wii and how it was a departure from traditional video gaming and stuff like that. But I think that
Yeah, he really hates it.
yeah, he got burned by the Wii and the Wii U like twice because like it's like he'd buy it and
Well,
his friends
that's his fault.
his
I mean, that was our argument. Was like, I bought the Wii U, and everything Nintendo makes is bad. No, like the Wii was
No,
okay.
the Wii
you
was
bought the Wii U, and
the
you hated
Wii
it.
was the Pokemon Go of that year of like 2007 or whatever.
Yeah,
That's basically what it was. It's the thing that you buy and then you have it on I guess as Dick points out on the Mii Maker. I didn't even know that's what it was supposed. That was the one that girls were really into. But you have it on.
Oh yeah,
on,
girls love the Mii makers.
yeah, I didn't know that that's specifically what they liked. But
They
you
also
have it
love
on.
The Sims. They like making people.
So that's why they want to have kids. You have so you have the Wii set up, connected to your TV, have it on, have it idle, and have your dormitory door open. This works best if you're in a dorm that has like mixed floors or something like that. So that way, like when a girl is walking by, they see the Wii and they're like, "Is that a Wii?" And then they'll walk into your room and they start like,
Dude, yeah. If I were in college at the time that the Wii was a thing,
and in the dorm,
man, I
yeah.
would leave my door open all the time. They'd
And it's
walk
like-
in and it'd be like, "What are you playing?" And it'd be like Metroid Prime 3. But I also have Wii Bowling, and then they'd be super interested.
Yeah. So it's basically the Pokemon Go of that time because like when Pokemon Go first came out, Dick Masterson said, "If you're not hitting on women who are with Pokemon Go, you're fucking up." And I'm like, "Yeah, I fucked up." That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, there was a period of my life where, for some weird reason, people liked Nintendo games, and it started when I was in middle school.
Mhm.
Or I don't know, maybe it was high school. I can't remember, but I got a Nintendo DS, and pretty early on in the life of it was WarioWare
Yeah.
touched, and I had never played a video game on that thing that anyone any female gave a shit about. Like if I was playing Super Mario 64, nothing. If I was playing I don't know, the built-in texting thing that they had.
PictoChat.
Yeah, PictoChat.
I've never seen a
Nothing.
useful use of PictoChat ever. I tried using it to chat with like a
No.
coworker of mine, but the range would be too far for it to be effective. So
Right.
it was shit. And then
Yeah, it
I
was
saw
dumb.
a forum post about these people in Australia. They had back in the day they had this thing called the Amaranth Anime Ball, which I think what it is like a ballroom dance like hall that they would rent out, and then they would have like ballroom dance, and then people would just cosplay as like anime characters there, and that sounds like that sounded like it was awesome, and apparently they don't do that shit anymore. So I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks. But then like I'm like, oh, they now have like because they came out with this ballroom anime where like everybody has giraffe necks. Um, I think I don't know. It's like it's one of those things like you know how they post the picture of like guys with like freakishly large hands. It's kind of like that, except that their necks are just excessively long. I don't know if it's like a subliminal phallic thing or something, but like all the characters have hugely long necks, right?
Yeah, they fuck girls with their heads.
Yeah. So that was the anime for ballroom. So then like they started having all these ballroom events at anime conventions. So I'm like, oh nice, this is gonna be nice. We're gonna do some ballroom dance. You get there, and then first of all, they're telling people to say like, okay, if you want to be a leader, go on this side. If you want to be a follower, go on this side. Now, normally when you have a ballroom dance lesson, they separate it by male and female because males are usually leaders. But not at anime conventions. They just say you can just be a leader if you want to be a leader, and then the majority of people choose to be a leader. So now you have like a shitload of like mismatched.
Assertive people
You have like you just like
looking for somebody who's submissive.
well, it's not even that. It's just a shitload of like people not having partners, and then of course one of the things that like a lot of instructors will do is have two circles, a circle for leaders or no. The way a lot of instructors in the real ballroom world will do it is they'll have two circles, a circle for men and a circle for women in front, like concentric circles, and the outer circle rotates so that you change partners every after each practice for like not five, like maybe like 1 or 2 minutes or so, because the point is you need to have a feel for different people dancing so that you can be more accustomed to what your own personal posture and everything like that is, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do, except of course now you've got like one circle that is like ridiculously larger than the other, and then you have people who are not rotating, and then you basically have like a gigantic shit show. So basically,
Yeah, group activities are bullshit. Get rid of them.
yeah. So no, that's the thing though. It's a group activity when it's in a legitimate ballroom dance hall, right?
Yeah, if everyone's on the same page, it's great.
Yeah, but the thing is like people aren't like well, I guess you could count it as cosplay because like they will wear like the traditional European style clothing like at a competition, but or like Spanish clothing, but like like I was just hoping that they would have like that shit, but you get to like cosplay as anime characters, and then it would be nice. But no, they have to fuck it up one way or another, and they also have to fuck it up because like they have to have those creepy guys that talk about the lollies that are like 1,000 years old, and and inexplicable like smells in various portions of the building for like it's not like there's like a smelly guy somewhere. It's just like there's just like this weird smell coming from you don't know where, right? It's like that's always the case. It's not like do you know what I'm talking about? Like you probably don't go to conventions, but
no.
I don't go to conventions.
yeah, okay, there
so
you
I
go.
don't
All right,
know
so
about any
I
of
was.
this.
I mean, I've been at one convention recently, and it was a big place. I don't
oh
think I
man,
could
like I mean, like
narrow down a smell.
I remember I tweeted at Dick or at one point asking if people cosplay at the Road Rage. He says that sometimes he does because I remember he mentioned something like, "Oh, like some dudes dressed up as penises at one point," and I'm
The
like, "Okay,
bumblebee.
yeah." I mean, like, wait, did Asterios do Grumblebee one time?
I
Yeah.
think he did.
Oh yeah, that's funny because like yeah, because cosplaying is fun. Like you get to like dress up and like you can like just be an asshole. Like, it's not something you can do
Yeah.
in everyday life, right?
Right.
So, like conventions are generally the only place where it's socially acceptable to do it, but you have to deal with a lot of bullshit, man. And like most of the bullshit is just like it's boring as shit, man. It's like yeah, you can dress up, but then what are you gonna do, right? Like I guess you could
Loiter.
yeah, you can basically loiter. You can eat overpriced food that is like overpriced, low quality food, or you can
You can
attend
get pictures.
you can
That's
attend
pretty much it.
panels which are this is basically what a panel is you sit in an auditorium and you get like a college style lecture, except it would be more entertaining if it was a college style lecture. Like the Procrastinators podcast, they have these lectures where they give a lecture on like an internet topic like um, parkour dude 91 or they did one on Chris Chan. They did one on
Oh
Tails Gets
no.
Trolls. So Munchie was a guest that we had on a very early episode, and we got like I think that's Arcane. Is that how you found out about us? Like through Munchie?
Yeah, I found out about it because Munchie posted in another server
Oh
that
wow.
we're both in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool of him. So yeah, he was there because he was also a fan of was it Josh W. Jace W. Connors back in the day. So yeah, he was the one who did that lecture. See, that would actually be good. But instead, what it is, it's like a college style lecture on someone's opinion of what the creators of Ruby or some or what is that other cartoon? Can't even think of Steven Universe or like some Japanese anime, just to pick one, like I don't know, like the fucking Gurren Lagann or some shit. Like,
God, is that the panels that they're doing now? Is there
well, I mean,
talking about
I
that
guess
shit?
they do like they usually do modern animes, but then you're also gonna have like some shit where it's like, oh, something like Fulikuli, even though that's like not even new, but they have one on that anyway, and it's like
Uh,
their their philosophical interpretation of what it really means, and it's like, and
yeah, why don't
it's,
you ask the guy who made it what he
well,
thinks?
sometimes they have like the
Fucking
artists who make
bastard.
shit.
Wait. Are these people who have any connection to the show, or are they just some fool?
They usually have a blog or like a website or something, you know?
So the latter.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so essentially it's shit you could get for free, like that you're paying
YouTube.
for. Yeah, so sometimes you'll see like people who are actually relevant, but it's usually they're just like gonna like give like autographs, or maybe they might talk a little bit about their life or something. I don't know. Like I guess if you want to know more about Danny Chu, you could go to like the Crunchyroll convention and then attend his lecture about how he was. Well, basically, it's him giving some information about his life, which is basically what's written on his website. So it's kind of like him reading his website in person to you, and then that's pretty cool. And then you also have him talking about a little bit more about the nuances of his business, which is not really as intrinsically gotten into in his website. So if you're interested in stuff like that, there is content like that.
The only con I've ever been to was Gen Con a very long time ago.
See, I would
So
want.
I don't.
Oh, sorry.
So I don't really know a lot about con culture because that seemed like a pretty open-ended con. In fact, it had panels, but didn't even focus on that. It was mostly about open demonstrations of card games you could get into if you wanted.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've been to one con in Boston, and it was like 90% merchandise, and then there was a few other things that you can do, but none of them were very exciting. It was like 90% merchandise, and then the rest of the 10% was like, you can go up to this tit girl, who does like cosplay stuff on Instagram and get a picture with her for like $80. Wow,
Wait, you have to
you're gonna
pay
remember
for
that.
that? Like, wait, you have
Yeah,
to
you do.
pay
$80?
Yeah, you gotta pay for that.
80
Just
bucks?
Photoshop yourself in there.
You could get
Yeah, you
like a
could.
photo with like a model at like a car trade show, probably for free. Like,
Yeah, but she
right? Like,
doesn't touch you.
maybe she, I don't know. I've seen no. They
You
do
can't.
like for free.
You
Like
can't have
in.
Jessica Negri be like
Oh man, they call her the N
like
word on CGL. Like they call her the J N word, which is pretty funny
which
because
N word?
you know what?
Which
Let's
one do
not
you
talk
mean?
about it. Let's not
Okay,
say it. Don't
all
say it.
right.
All right, yeah.
You've been weird, but all right.
Okay, but
Yeah, like you can. I remember the only one that I recognized is Jessica Negri, and it was like you had to go up there and pay 60 or $80 just to have a picture with her, and it looked like people were just lining up to just like I don't know touch her shoulder for 5 seconds and then be like, ah, ha, ha, hey, it's me, Jessica Negri. We talked and we had such a fun time together, and like no one would know that it was just like a 3-second encounter. And it
oh,
was the same way. I think it was the same way with the autographs. It was just such a factory. Um,
you know what's a better idea than doing that though? Like just like straight up lying. Just like be like, yo, like just don't even go to the
yeah, just
convention and
like you
just be
said,
like,
Photoshop.
no, not even Photoshop. Just like fucking lie. Just be like, yo, I hung out with Jessica Rigri and I fucked her. Like,
Yeah, and she said it was cool and that it had the
like,
biggest dick that she'd ever
like,
seen.
just like straight up, just say that. Like, you know.
I'm gonna have to figure out who this person is.
And then they'll someone's like, yo, I don't believe you. There's no way she would do that to you. And then you just say some shit like, yeah, she would, because I gave her $500. Like, you know, just like make shit up. And then like, what are they gonna say? Are they gonna call you on it? Are they gonna like, are they gonna call up Jessica Negro and just say like, hey? Because I mean, like, they're already not refuting like.
You on it, but
they're not. They're already
be
not
able to pin you
refuting
down.
your I touched her shoulder for 5 seconds like story. So like,
And it was warm.
yeah, and like that's if anything, the true story of that encounter is worse and creepier than just outright lying and saying like
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So
The truth is garbage.
So, well, I mean, they're already stretching it probably, right? When they're telling the story of what happened. So I mean, like, you know, why not just
yeah. I imagine they'd be like, dude, I met this cam girl and she was like, wow, that's a weird noise.
what? What was that?
This is a, I don't know what the noise is. I guess I'm gonna investigate it later. It sounds like somebody
Was that like
taking
outside your house or something? Like, is there something going on over there?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded like somebody had like a balloon and then
It's the Canadians, man. The Canadians are coming. Like, I know
Yeah,
you live close
probably.
to them, so like, you know, you gotta
They're
watch
probably
out.
riding mooses.
Oh yeah,
You know that sound that a balloon makes if you just like blow up a balloon a little bit and then you just like stretch the I don't know, the end of it out so that just like a tiny bit of air escapes and it makes like a sound.
yeah, I
That's
know.
what it sounded like.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. I don't know where it came from.
I don't know.
Hopefully
Like this.
It was nothing bad.
Yeah, I mean.
No, I hear it again. I don't think it's anything bad, but God, it's just kind of freaking me out.
Okay, why would she? That picture doesn't look good at all. Like she has pictures
No, it
where
doesn't.
she has like
Of
she
her
has
dressed
like
up as Bowsette.
no. Ironically, this looks
Well,
more
she's
like
got big cans.
the thing is
in the picture,
this
but-
ironically looks more like Bowsette and actually than most of her cosplays, which she looks hotter in when they're not accurate. You know what I mean? Like, so usually, for example, she'll wear a yellow bikini and say, "I'm cosplaying as Pikachu." That's basically what she does, right? So
well, that's what everyone does.
well, yeah. So that's the thing, though. Like, so Justin Wang's Twitter or his Twitter used to be at Hot Pikachu Sex, and it would always gross everybody out for some reason. But like, you know, he tweeted at someone's. He tweeted at the company at one time saying like, "Oh, blah 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 blah," and then that company responded to him saying, "I wish I hadn't read your name or your Twitter handle or whatever," and you know that's because it's like a joke. But the thing is, like, whenever I see his old Twitter handle, this is basically what comes to mind. It's like it's this, but like the Pikachu version. It's like, you know, it's Jessica Negri in like a yellow bikini. That's basically.
Hey, guess who this one is? She's wearing orange. Who can you think of that's wearing orange?
Who's wearing orange?
I just posted a picture of it in your Discord.
Oh, okay. It's not important. The point is, Justin Wang's. Justin Wang's.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm
username.
sorry. I'm gonna have to interrupt you. This is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, what is this?
Now we're just Jessica Negri posting.
Where are you? Again, it's like the more accurate she gets in her cosplay, like the less good she looks. Probably, I'd say.
Yeah, because the more accurate, like being accurate, would require her to wear more clothing.
Well, no, like even like the way she does her like face makeup, I'd say like if you compare her like Wario face makeup compared to her like makeup for, I don't even know what the fuck she's wearing in this pink shit, but like I don't know. It might be Photoshop too. I don't know. I don't know much about Photoshop. Like literally, the only thing I know how to do in Photoshop is like how to crop something, right? Like just to make the things to cut out stuff. Like I don't know how to do anything in Photoshop. So
well, I don't know. She's wearing some shit on her nose in the Wario one, but the rest of them is probably just standard makeup. I'm sure she's wearing makeup in all of them.
Standard makeup is probably like where she would look best, because I think when girls decide to like do this weird stuff where it's like with the Instagram filters where like they put stuff. It's like, oh look, my face is my face, but now it's like now I'm a dog, and I'm like, okay, well that looks whack. Like
no, you're still human.
No, like you know what I'm talking about, like these dog filters and stuff, where like their nose is like a dog nose, and they have like dog ears on their
Oh, their
forehead.
eyes are bigger and stuff.
Yeah, it looks bad. Like I don't know.
It does.
Yeah, it's like okay, I don't know. So yeah, that was my point there. So now that was us talking about. I forgot what we were talking about.
God, I don't even know how we got here. Why are we talking about thoughts?
We got here through bad people at cons.
How did we
Yeah,
get
but
there?
then how did we get to there?
Oh, it was like we talked about how people would pay $80 to touch Jessica Negri's shoulder.
Yeah, when you could just lie for free, right?
Yeah, and then I had to figure out who Jessica Negri was and why her shoulders were worth $80.
Well, originally we were talking about Captain America. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Captain
Planet.
Planet.
Yeah.
Smartwatches.
Captain Crunch.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
okay,
you brought up
the
something
Reddit
else.
hot glue smartwatches thing was relevant because we were talking about the Galaxy Watch. That's like that was a pre-decided topic, so that was relevant. This I don't know, I don't even know why this is like a thing. Oh, she was actually what is it called? Hired by Suda's team or whatever, the people who made Normal Heroes. They made Lollipop Chainsaw, and for the advertisements or some shit, she was hired to do that. And like,
Jessica Negri was?
yeah, she got hired to cosplay.
Oh,
as,
I'm
like, the
sure she
maker.
was, because that game was basically like the video game.
Was it her? I don't know. It was like some girl.
No, but I mean, like, she embodies exactly what that is, which is this, like, here's a juxtaposition, here's a character, and but now it's sexy.
Well, her character was like a lot less. I mean, I don't know really what her personality is, but in the video game, the character's
Annoying.
personality is like a lot less annoying than I would imagine like her to be in real life. So,
You're talking about Lollipop Chainsaw?
I mean, she was kind of just she was just kind of like a normal person, not like a weirdo or anything like that.
I mean, I don't think that she was a model for Lollipop Chainsaw, but she, like, the character that is portrayed in that game, it's basically her and most other cam girls.
Oh,
It's
she's
just
supposed to be like a cam because I think the character.
I don't know, but that's just the sense that I get from it. It's just like I guess the essence of it is just it's just a character that is meant to be sexy and yet do
she kind of has
something cool.
She kind of has an air of like not really being aware of what's going on though. Whereas I think most cam girls know what they're doing in terms of like
Yeah.
they have their objective
yeah.
in what they're trying to do. Whereas her, like with the her being like a cheerleader and all that stuff, it's like kind of like she kind of doesn't really. It doesn't seem like it's like done intentionally, in the same manner that the cam girls are intentionally doing it. Like we're talking about a character here, so again, this
I don't
is
think
like
it's commentary on cam girls in particular. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it was just a stupid game that they made.
it was
that
also
was really my takeaway of it at the time.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. So the point is, she got hired to do that, and then like a shitload of girls just got super butthurt about that. Like everybody was just like, well, basically every girl who's like into cosplaying was just like shitting on her like nonstop. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
this
that's what they
this
do.
could have been something useful. I wasn't able to really figure it out to exploit it, but I think there's something there. Like when there's I'm not quite sure. We should totally just email Dick. Be like, yo, what do you do when like there's this girl who's like being a thought and like all the girls around you are just shitting on her constantly? There's got to be a way to use that.
Fuck every one of them that you can. And
Yeah,
then
I
move
know,
on.
but like how is like what is the because that's like a
Be
built-in.
hot.
What do you mean be hot? Yeah, okay, and like that's not
No, that's it. There's no end. Just be hot.
okay. All right, got it. Cool.
You can talk about whatever you want. Just go up to them, talk about checkers or something, and if you're hot, they'll probably be down for it.
Hey girl, check out my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. Yo, that's my friend's
I don't
pickup line
wanna-
right there.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to imply that that's a sophisticated point of view, but
Wait, actually, I have a friend who used that as a pickup line, and this was an interesting guy. I don't know if I told this story before, but he,
Yu-Gi-Oh?
yeah, he was he's kind of like a kid, like
Well, I mean, did the
mentally.
place around...
He kind of just like acts very childish a lot of the time. Like I remember one time he was like he did crew. Let's call him the crew guy, right? Because he did crew, and I remember one time he had like a competition, like a meet or whatever it's called, and he was saying like, "Yo, man, I got second place." I'm like, "Oh, snap! That's pretty cool. I mean, like, you just started this and you're able to get second place in a race. That's really good." And he's like, "Yo, we're having a party. Like, you should go. It's gonna be in this dorm." So I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I go to the party, and like this is later on that the party's taking place. I show up there, and first of all, he's not there. So I show up. I'm like, "Oh, hey guys, is Jason here?" Or shit, fuck. Okay, so hey guys, is crew guy here? And then they're like, nah, he's not here. I'm like, he said he would be here. Okay, so now I'm like, kind of looking like an asshole because I just like kind of show up to a party that I have nothing to do with because it's like a team party, right? And I'm not on the crew team. And so I start talking to these people, and I was like, well, okay, so I guess I'll just wait around for him. And I'm like, so I heard that he got second place. That's pretty cool. Congrats to him, I guess. And they're like, in his race, it was just two boats racing. And I'm like, oh, like,
Wait, what racing? Boats?
yeah, it was crew, so it's rowing. So he said he got second place, but there were only two boats in that race. So
I see. So he got last place.
yeah.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, so this is like the kind of stories he would tell, right? So he's like, or rather, things that he would get into. Like he also took Chinese and had to write an essay about the geography of the United States, and that was pretty interesting because he told me like one day he told me he's like, hey, I wrote an essay, but I have to redo it. I'm like, why? What happened? And he's like, well, I mean, I wrote the essay and then I got in trouble for it. And I'm like, well, what did you write in your essay? So he said like, okay, well, he wrote it in Chinese, but
The Holocaust isn't real.
no, he wrote it in Chinese, but in English, what he wrote again, this is the geography of the United States, right? So he's like, in the East Coast, there are a lot of cities and a lot of mountains. In the West Coast, there are a lot of beaches and a lot of cities. And in the middle, there's a lot of nothing. And in the South, there are a lot of black people. And also in the South, there are a lot of delicious food like tasty ribs and wings.
And other black people, yeah.
And this is what attracts black people to the South. And then he said he gave it to his teacher, and like he got it back from his teacher, and he's like, why doesn't this have a grade on it? And the teacher was like, I can't accept this because this is racist. And then he's like, how is this racist? I'm like, yeah, I guess you got to redo your essay, and like, and, and then that was that.
I don't know. I just redo it because I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that was the best essay I've heard in terms of describing the geography of the United States, but I guess it's a thing. I'm probably gonna have to take down this episode.
Racist, so yeah, you have to shun it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take down this episode and chop it up because
Yeah. I think the important takeaway here is that labels are a very important tool to tell you which people you should hate and which people you should not hate. So just make sure that you adhere to those labels, and if anyone fits the bill, they're evil. Kill them.
And then we also have to ban speech and Captain Planet.
Ban hot glue guns.
If we have to.
Well, no, we have to. We have to ban speech, and we have to ban all speech, and then all the things that implies afterwards, and then we also have to get Interrogator and FaZe to come on and have like a death match on the air.
Yeah, you said
I don't
that
think
they were
that they
going
hate
to
each
duke it
other,
out.
but I don't think FaZe is going to be
deathmatch
back.
over.
Yeah.
You don't think
Buns
FaZe would do it?
versus Sonics?
Huh?
Buns versus Sonics?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be an audio death match, but they're gonna like just come on here and like we're gonna see who wins. It's
I have
gonna.
a feeling that they're going to join forces and use it for evil.
Yeah, I don't see that happening when they talk to each other in text, but they might be sending coded messages. That could be it.
I don't know. Like, I don't think of Interrogator and FaZe as anything other than like shit posters. They're, like, nothing that they say is serious.
You know what it is? It's Interrogator reminds me of somebody I know from college. That's what it is. So you know this college
Oh, he
network?
posted buns everywhere too?
No,
Jesus Christ.
no, but he was on this file sharing network, and his username was Kawaii, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but like I even met him too. Like he's really good at cooking, and that was his thing, and I'm like, yo, that's really cool. And I for all we know, like Interrogator sucks at cooking, but I just like imagine he just reminds me of that guy like a lot, which is just crazy. So that's what it is. And then FaZe doesn't remind me of anyone, but I do know that FaZe would say "shut the fuck up, Interrogator." So I want to see that death match because I think that'd be funny.
What in specific are they death matching over?
I don't know, whatever they want.
All right.
I made Interrogator a mod on in my Discord. He's the only one who I've made a mod. Basically, essentially,
is he
for
going
no
to interrogate the entire server?
I mean, I made him a mod just to see what he would do. It's like I literally did this for like no reason. Like I gave him the ability to change people's username and like kick people and like move them into like rooms that he has permission to put people into, which is probably Ready Up and General. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I hope that works out.
Well, so far nothing. So far he's not done shit. So I don't know how that's
Well,
gonna
he's
work.
been in the server for like, I don't know, 10 hours.
Yeah, and then was at work for like half of those 10. So there's that.
I'm pretty sure he's just going to use it to like post bun pictures wherever he wants.
Yeah, that would be good too. I don't care. You can do that. That's fine. I want to see more bun pictures make it onto FaZe's server because that would be funny because I know that like, yeah, the. Wait, wasn't there someone who was like trying to post but like they had like a quota or something like that? And FaZe was like, "I'll ban you if you flood the server with bun pictures," and then like.
I don't know. Maybe there is something more to this.
Yeah, I think I'd have to investigate. That would mean I'd have to actually like pay money on Patreon. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here unless anyone wants to say anything. Arcane, any final thoughts before I kill it?
Ban buns.
All right, okay, we're gonna ban it. Okay, bye.